Hi Dee. Looking at your version of Gertrude Kazabier's picture and at her original, it's pretty good. Um, what do we have here? Well, okay, you made an attempt at the floral background. I mean, if I really wanted to get picayune, yeah, you can use post processing to put that in. But in this case, it's not really worth your while. Her blouse is more wrinkled. The original blouse is more wrinkled. You don't have a wicker basket, but you have a calendar. Looks like a calendar. Calendar. Um, the You were fortunate to get a Native American model with the same high cheekbones. That was great. That's a very good thing. So all in all, I mean, you did the best with what you had. You really, you came pretty close. Like at first glance, it's pretty similar. So that's good. Now looking at your summary, Julia Margaret Cameron, you said a nice thing about the shallow depth of field. In fact, Casimir employed it, and you employed it even more so than Casimir did because your model's shoulders out of focus, but you got the face in focus. That shallow depth of field is a very beautiful aesthetic, and it's used a lot in fashion photography. If you look at models that pose outdoors, let's say, and the photographer uses sunlight as key and then artificial light as fill, excuse me, then you can see a very shallow depth of field. The background is thrown way out of focus, whether it's on the beach with the ocean in the background or the woods. You get a hint of the background, but it's usually a blur. So it's a beautiful aesthetic. Then you went on to Muybridge, and you drew a comparison between Muybridge being the father of filmmaking, and I mean not actually making films, but his Zoopraxiscope was the beginning of the whole thing. Gertrude Casimir. So for Muybridge and Cameron, you cited aesthetics that came down to us in a contemporary context. So you were part of the way there. With Casimir, your words got a little confusing in the last four or five lines of her of that paragraph that discussed Casimir. You mentioned that she captured the surrounding room to capture a feeling of the security of home and her mother getting ready to leave out on her own. That's not clear. And it sounds like you're talking about the picture "Blessed art thou among women," but in this case, you would have been better off discussing how that aesthetic of a home and hearth and that soft focused feeling of security, how that translates in today's world. For example, in some advertising, some fashion, and some theater photography. August Sander was not a pictorialist per se. He sought to portray the German people by profession. So he sought types. And he photographed the German people by types, say the farmer, the teacher, and so on. So he was more into types. And this came down to a more contemporary form in the work of the Düsseldorf School, founded by Bernd and Hilda Becker, where they photographed, say, post-war German architecture, and they would do a series of, say, gas tanks. They were all different, but they emphasized the similarities between the gas tanks by presenting them in a series on a poster. So it would be types. By pointing out the similarities, these pictures pointed somewhere else to archetypes. So the whole aesthetic of types came down from August Sander. And so here I am. I'm trying to point out how some of these historical photographers passed down an aesthetic that now shows up in the contemporary context. Now, as far as influences on contemporary photographers, you would have been well served to discuss examples like this, like for example how August Sander influenced the Beckers, and how Gertrude Casimir um, influence someone like perhaps Hero or Abaddon. So these are the connections that I think the assignment was looking for. And with MyBridge, it comes down to how the GIF, the animated GIF works in digital photography today. At any rate, that's pretty much it. Dee, I want to take this time to thank you for your presence in this course, and it's been a pleasure having you as a student. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll meet again in another course. Okay, that's pretty much it. Good luck and goodbye. Take care.